What's up and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to give a little story about my personal experience with college. I didn't actually drop out of college, but I did think about it at one point in my life. It was recently, actually in December of 2015. I came all the way to the end of almost my last semester of classes before I took my internship. So the week of finals, I received an email and it had told me that, my Praxis scores were in. So I was all excited, but a little bit nervous because I wasn't actually sure what was going to come about. So for those of you who don't know much about Praxis, or the Praxis, it's actually just a test that education majors take to get certified in different areas. I was taking the teaching reading Praxis because that was the last test I needed to get certified for my major. So I think I was studying for like a final, but I took a break to open it up and see, actually what my score was. So I opened it up and I was devastated. Like I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried because I missed my test by 3 points. I only needed 3 points to have a passing score. So what that meant for me was I couldn't go on and do my internship in the spring because I didn't pass my test. That test was a requirement in order to move on. So I was devastated. Like I said, I was in my last week of finishing up for finals and I was studying for finals and it was just hard. It was hard to push through. I wanted to just not even go take my finals because I was thinking, why go take my final? Why does it matter? Why should I go sit up and take a test that, I'm not even going to be able to do my internship next semester? I guess I was in give up mode because that hurt me so bad. I've been praying and hoping and wishing that everything was going to fall into place, but it didn't. And looking back, I realized that that's just how life is. It's not going to always go your way, and I just didn't understand it at that time. I felt angry toward God. I was wallowing in my pity party. I was just so upset. I didn't want to do different things. Like my family offered me to go on a trip with them. I didn't want to go because I was in distraught. I promise you, it was hard. It was hard because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had an apartment, and if I didn't have any income coming in, how was I gonna pay for that apartment? And so all these things just kept going through in my head, and I just didn't understand or didn't know what to do at that time. But I pushed through. I went and took my finals. I had a presentation. I pushed it that it wasn't as what I wanted it to be. I know it could have been better, but I was just having a hard time. And to even go sit up and take my final around my classmates who I knew most of them would be going on and doing their student teaching and their internships at their schools, and I was just thinking, man, I'm not gonna go. And I didn't want to go up and sit around, I kind of just didn't want to be around them because I knew that they would be talking about graduation and their placements, and I was thinking, what placement? There's no placement. I won't be in school next semester because I took all my classes. December was the last semester for me to take actual classes. So when we did our internship, I didn't have any classes. So there was nothing else left for me to do. So I just took a semester off. And that's what I did. I took a semester off and I learned a lot about me. I felt like going through that really built my character in the semester that I took off. I really didn't want to take a semester off. I tried my hardest. I thought about switching my major. I even went up to the College of Education and I asked them, is there any other major that I can switch to so that I can graduate in May? Because my whole focus was to graduate in May because that's what I was supposed to do. And a lot of people ask me, why were you in a rush? Why are you in a rush? And I'm just thinking because all of my classmates are graduating, because I'm supposed to graduate. I paid this application fee to graduate. Why can't I graduate, So I looked for the easy way out, but that still didn't work. I would have to take a few classes in May, in the spring semester, and then I would actually have to take classes in December. So I was thinking, why not just go ahead and just, I guess, graduate in December. Not what I wanted to do, but I did it. In January of 2016, this year, I actually went and I took the Praxis. I took my teaching reading test over. That was the last Praxis that I needed. I took it over, and in February, I got my scores back. And I passed. And so I was so happy and I was so excited. So let's talk about what I did during my semester off. During my semester off, I still stayed in the town where my school was because I had an apartment and I had a lease with them. So I ended up staying and I looked for jobs. While I was looking for jobs, I already had my sub card where I can sub at the schools in the county, and this is a big county and they have a whole bunch of schools. So luckily I got to sub at multiple schools in the county, and I just got a feel for, just doing it on my own. Even though we kind of did it on our own in student teaching, it was just like every day doing it on my own. Different situations, different children, and I think it was the best experience for me. I really still didn't understand, why I was doing it, but I was able to work at least every day out of each week. I made little business cards and I passed them out to teachers and I passed them out to the bookkeepers, and I would get calls pretty much every day, or at least twice a week if I wasn't already booked. So I was substitute teacher for 5 months. So I went the whole semester subbing, and I was just thinking, I'm doing this now, but I could have been doing this in my internship. And I know that, we shouldn't complain about different things, but I still had that thought in my mind, I'm subbing, but I could be doing this and have my degree in May. But I've learned that, sometimes things just happen and you have to roll with the punches and you just have to keep going no matter what. I appreciate that I was still able to work and just keep myself in school and keep my flow of, how things work and just meeting new people. I was able to meet a lot of new teachers and just talk to them and hear their experiences, and I was able to learn from them. Like, I learned a whole bunch of classroom management from different teachers and different things. Like, one of my favorites is you can pull a card and you can read something off the card and you say, if you have a brother, get in line. Like, that was one of my favorite things that I learned. So, it was still a learning process for me. And I hope that when I go back to school in August for my internship, because I am going to return, I didn't drop out of college. I thought about it, but I've worked so hard and I've come so far, and I just don't see myself giving up that easily on what I wanted to do. Like, I really want to teach. That was something that as a little girl, I dreamed of doing. I wrote a story one time about what my purpose was, and my purpose is to teach. So I'm not giving up. And like I said, I can take some of the things that I learned this semester in those different classrooms and do them on my own. So let's talk about not giving up. Don't ever give up on your dreams. No matter what comes your way, no matter what hits you, no matter what life tells you, don't ever give up, because you've worked so hard to get to where you were. Like, I worked so hard to get to where I was, and even though there was a stumbling block in my way, I believe that what's for me is always going to be for me. And teaching is for me. I truly believe that is something that I'm supposed to do. So I'm not giving up. It was hard. It built character. I had to learn how to be an adult. I had to pay for my rent without financial aid, and it was hard. But once you get through it and you look back on it, it's like, whew, really? I really got through this, and God just kept me. I'm here, and it's July. And in August, I'm going to go back and I'm going to start, and I'm going to finish in November. I'm going to finish what I came to my university to do. I'm going to finish what the goals that I've set in place for me. I'm not going to give up. I thought about it, but I'm not going to give up, because life is hard for everybody. It's just one of those things where you just You have to get out of your pity party and your self-pity, and you just have to press forward. I mean, it may be hard. It was hard. There were months where I still talked about it. In February, I was still talking about it like, oh, I should have been student teaching. Oh well, get over it. Move forward. Don't get stuck on one place that you were in, because there's better days ahead. And I tell you, if you don't get stuck and you keep pressing forward and you keep moving forward and you keep believing and you keep working hard towards that goal and that dream, you will get there. You will get there, just like me. I thought about dropping out of college. I thought about changing my major. I just didn't understand, but sometimes it's not for us to understand. Sometimes we may understand later on in life. Like, I feel like maybe 2 months later, I may understand, because it'll all start falling into place. But right now, I still don't understand, but I'm just trusting this process, and maybe there's something better for me. Maybe there's something greater for me, because I had life planned out. This month, I should have been moving into my new place, because I would have been starting my teaching job, but that's not where I am, and that's not what God has planned for me. Obviously, He's probably laughing at me like, haha, you thought that you were going to be moving, but I have something so much greater for you, and I'm just trusting this process. Like, I'm trusting it, and I'm not giving up, and I'm just going to keep pressing forward. So if you're out there and you're thinking about giving up on that thing that you worked so hard for, but you just had this stumbling block in your way, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pressing forward. Don't stay in your pity party. Move on. Press on. And I promise you, you will see the end. You'll see the light at the end of that tunnel. I hope this has inspired you in some type of way. I'll be talking to you guys later. See ya. Bye.